Hi, future green card holders. If you're on the road to marriage-based adjustment of status, you will not want to miss this video.
So get ready to uncover the top 6 mistakes on Form I-864.
Not sure if you need to submit 1 or 3 years of your sponsor's tax transcripts?
Want to learn how to properly understand the income requirements and how important it is to have a proper income level last tax year?
We will cover that in addition to showing you how to properly calculate your household size, how to report your finances together, and stick around till the end where we will talk about assets and how to properly claim them in this form. If you're new to our channel, my name is Margarita.
My name's Dixon.
And we're an immigrant couple of lawyers and green card coaches.
We have a program called the Marriage Immigration Method that helps people go through this entire process successfully.
Here's an example of one of our members who followed our step-by-step program and was able to get her green card and is now excited to travel to see her family.
If you need help going through this process on your own, or if you're struggling with getting started, we have a program that is built just for you.
You can book a call with us using the link we've included in the description and in the comments below.
All right, if you're excited about this topic, it's going to be very helpful for you.
Give this video a like, be sure to subscribe, and let's get into it.
Now, one of the biggest I-864 mistakes we see is that couples are often completely unaware that submitting this form is actually a requirement.
First things first, for those who might not be familiar, Form I-864, also known as the Affidavit of Support, is a pivotal document. It's like the financial safety net that assures the US government that you will not become a financial burden once you receive your green card, and it's that important.
Now, here's where things get interesting. Not properly filling out and submitting Form I-864 can lead to a range of consequences that can throw a wrench in your immigration plans. In these cases, the USCIS will issue an RFE, or what's called a request for evidence, asking for the missing Form I-864.
This not only prolongs this process, since keep in mind your entire case is on hold when the RFE is issued, but can be a source of serious stress and uncertainty as you scramble to provide the necessary documents before the deadline.
So, when you apply for your green card from inside the US, make sure to include a properly filled out Form I-864, together with all of the supporting evidence with your initial marriage adjustment package. Now, let's talk about the supporting evidence.
Sometimes couples fail to provide enough financial documents with their Form I-864, and trust me, it's a detail you do not want to overlook. Let's unravel the importance and consequences of getting it right.
This form requires you to prove that you have the financial means to support your spouse as they seek a green card, and providing just 1 year of tax return from last year might not be enough. USCIS is looking to see your tax returns, and inside our program, we encourage our members to submit all 3 years if possible in order to avoid any delays.
You will also need your W-2s, recent pay stubs, and a letter from your employer confirming your position and income, which isn't mandatory, but it is a helpful document to include. The idea is to give them as much evidence as you possibly can ahead of time so they have nothing to come back and ask for.
And by the way, if the sponsor is self-employed, the list of supporting evidence changes, but always check the I-864 instructions if you want to learn more.
We've linked the instructions for you below.
But we know this is a lot of information to take in. That's why we've put together our Marriage Immigration Method program.
You can spend your time preparing a more effective application instead of learning the next point, which is not understanding the income requirements of Form I-864.
Apply using the link in the description.
Now, as mentioned, another mistake we often see is that some folks don't fully understand the income requirement on Form I-864, and they mistakenly believe that they need to have substantial income right this moment.
But here's the thing, USCIS has a slightly different perspective. They're interested in not only your current income, but also your income history, specifically the last tax season.
Here's an example of the biggest mistake we see. Somebody was in law school last year and made no income, but just half a year ago, they got a job at a law firm and their current salary is way above the poverty guidelines, which currently is looking like this.
If this couple submits a documentation of their current income, the USCIS will likely issue an RFE asking for a joint sponsor. And that is our experience dealing with these scenarios.
Just know that when you are looking at the poverty guidelines, you have to demonstrate that income right now and last tax year.
Now, let's talk about the mistakes people make in the form itself. And let's start with calculating the household size properly.
Okay, so the form you download from the USCIS, at least at this moment, is broken, and it shows the household size portion somewhat incorrectly.
It doesn't allow you to work with this form if you're trying to fill it out in the browser.
And we had couples reach out to us who just left this portion of the form as is since they couldn't edit it. and that triggered an RFE.
This portion is very important, and you need to know that there will be a minimum of 2 people in your household: the immigrant spouse who is being petitioned in this affidavit and the sponsor.
But of course, your household size might be even larger, so make sure to read each line carefully to see if that applies to you.
For instance, if you've ever signed this affidavit for someone else and they are still a green card holder, your household size is now 3. This number also changes if you have dependents and etc.
All right, another common mistake we see is that couples don't know how to properly report finances together. And here's the scenario we're talking about.
Very often, a foreign spouse is already in the US, let's say on an H-1B visa or on any visa that allows them to have income.
In this case, you might want to report your finances together on Form I-864. That's especially important if, let's say, your sponsor did not make enough money last year or if they're very close to the poverty guidelines.
Since you counted your spouse in your household size, you can provide your spouse's income in Part 6, Item 8. Make sure you include all of their financial documents as well, and they will not need to complete Form I-864A if they don't have any accompanying children.
Finally, people sometimes don't understand the asset portion of this form, which is Part 7 on page 5. You can actually skip this portion altogether if your income is above the poverty guidelines.
People often feel like providing bank statements really matters, but it really makes no difference if your income is high.
That being said, if let's say you are short on income, you could use assets to supplement your income.
In order to qualify based on the value of your assets, the total value of your assets must equal at least 5 times the difference between your total household income and the current federal poverty guidelines for your household size.
However, if you are a US citizen and you are sponsoring your spouse or child 18 years of age or older, the total value of your assets must only be equal to 3 times the difference. Good news.
Just to illustrate it in an example, let's imagine the sponsor's income is $20,000. However, the necessary minimum income for this household size is $30,000.
There is a shortfall of 10 grand. He or she may use assets to make up this difference. If sponsoring a spouse, the assets must value at least $30,000 or 3 times the shortfall.
Again, this process is confusing, and this is just one form, and we are only able to cover so many points.
If you feel like you can handle this process yourself, but you want full guidance getting through this in addition to being a part of our awesome community, apply to our marriage immigration method with all the contact information below.
It's very easy to schedule your call with us, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you for watching.
Subscribe, click the bell, comment, and we look forward to seeing you next time.